Oh, hang on. Sound's on. Ah, there we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me now and not me hearing myself. Cool. All right, welcome in. I see you got PNG and Melody are both here. So, welcome in, welcome in. Hopefully we'll see a few more people arrive in a bit. But yeah, today we're going to do some Kerbal Space Program. So, yeah, let me know if sound's right, because I'm still not sure, and sound is something I haven't quite worked out just yet. But, yeah, Kerbal Space Program. So, yeah, Kerbal Space Program. So, I've actually, let's go over here for a sec, because I've got a little bit of a story time. So, Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program. This is a game that I've been playing since not long after it was in early access. Back when Kerbal used to look like this. So, I've pretty much done most things you can do in Kerbal, but there's always something more that you can do. But yeah, so I just pulled these from my old Imgur account, where I used to use that to link to Kerbal Space Program forum. But yeah, back in the day, I used to do a lot in Kerbal Space Program. I participated in various challenges, lots of experiments. Even at one point, I took part in an official competition that was run by the game. So all kinds of different contraptions. As well as just going through and building all the basic missions, I ended up going a lot further than that and making all kinds of creative things to do reenactments, or to film little scenes, or making various different sci-fi spaceships, all that sort of thing. In fact, that one with the boat there, that one is from when I did an Apollo reenactment. One of the other one is when I did a little story, because I even went ahead and I was even, back when I was really into the Kerbal fandom, I was even writing fanfic and making little stories using Kerbal as the way to film that. So that might be something we end up doing a bit more of, because I mean, as I got busy, a lot of these stories just ended up kind of abandoned as uni finished, as I started working, as I kind of lost motivation. So that might be something that we have a go of. During Kerbal Space Program streams. Oh, my voice might be a little crackly today, because I think I'm getting a bit of a cold. But let me know if anything's wrong with the sound. But what I've got to do today, so eventually with Kerbal Space Programs, if I do get redeems and so on, then I would love to have a redeem for to challenge me to build something, turn something into a spaceship, basically. Go and pick some sort of object or character or something that we can go and turn into a spacecraft, and see if we can use it to be one of the different stages of our space mission. So that's an idea that we've got to do. But the thing that I want to have a go of today, oh, hang on one moment. I just need to check something. Is that working? Hopefully that's working. Yep, okay. So the thing I want to have a go of today is we're going to try and do a space mission. Oh, hang on, wrong button. There we go. So, I'm going to try and do a space mission to this planet. This is planet Moho. Moho is the innermost planet in the Kerbal Space Program. Oh, let's see. I can do this. Wait. Yes, there we go. There's my little Kerbal Space Program chat redeem. So, Moho is the innermost planet in the Kerbal solar system, and that actually makes it really hard to get to, because you've got to lose a lot of speed to get down from Kerbal's orbit down to Moho's orbit, and then you have to use you need a lot of speed in order to well, not speed, you need a lot of delta V in order to go and slow down at that orbit to, stop at the planet we're trying to go to. So the plan that I'm going to try and do today is we're going to build ourselves a special type of space rover so that we can explore the Mohole. So located at the north pole of this planet, there's this giant hole, and we're going to go hole exploring. So the plan is build a machine that we can land at the north pole of this planet. It's going to have a special feature. We need this thing to be able to crawl down the side of this giant pit. So the plan is to use thrusters on the top to push it against the wall. And we're going to have some grippy claws in order so that we can park it. So it's going to work like this. We land at the Mohole. We very carefully, this is what we'll be testing on Kerbal first. We very carefully lower ourselves down into the hole, hopefully without falling down. Using the thrusters on the side, we make the rocket press against the side until so that we stay stable. If we need to stop, that's what the claws are for. And then hopefully we can deliver our astronaut down about 4 kilometers down to the bottom of this big space hole. And then hopefully get him back up again. Oh, I also found a plugin that lets me pull recruit Twitch accounts as the names of my astronaut. So if there's enough of you guys here, who knows, maybe some of you guys will be the one that we actually send to this planet. So that is the plan for today. We're going to go and take on a mission to planet Moho. Hopefully get there and back successfully. Going to be probably going to stream for about 2 hours, then I have to go and head to work. So let me know if anything is going wrong, because I'm not sure. I'm still getting the hang of this. Still a bit of an experiment. But let's get started. So this is technically a fresh install of Kerbal Space Program, but I couldn't really do it without all of my mods. Like, we're gonna start a fresh game. Let's make this one a sandbox game. Let's say let's call it that. Oh, and as for a flag, let's see, I prepared one specially. There we go. Is that how you spell Twitch? Or do I want to make this a science mode game? Don't remember. Oh no, let's not do science. I want to go for all technologies from the start. I've played career mode and science mode before. Shadestar, welcome in, welcome in. You just missed the mission briefing. Let me quickly go through it. Look, I've got slides and everything. We're going to Moho. We're gonna go and try and get a space rover down the Mohole, something like that, and then safely back up again. At least that's the plan. So I've got myself a fresh Kerbal Space Program installed here, and for some reason chat is not showing up on my phone, so let's fix that. One moment. But yeah, I've played. Oh, it's because my phone has not got Wi-Fi. I'll see if that works, and if not, I'm just going to have to go and flick back, because I haven't yet. I'm still only using one screen. Alright, let's get started. Let's see. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is have a go at building ourselves a rover. I need a good name for it, so I don't know how much you guys have played of Kerbal Space Program, but I have a bunch of extra parts from all the various mods that I've used throughout the years. Various different pieces. I've got some fun ones in here. You can see, what have we got? What to get started with? So I'm thinking if I can start by building a rover that just I can use to crawl up the side of, or even maybe down the side of the VBA. Let's start with a nice, let's go with one of these. So let's see, we'll go with one of those for the center. How long do we want this to be? I'm thinking fairly long, because I know in order to get it down, down to the hole, we're going to have to make it bend. No, not bend. It's going to have to overcome a big gap. So, let's go with something like this. Something like this. Where's our center of mass at? It's a little too high, so maybe I put more fuel lower instead. Okay, change of plan. Let's start this thing by using some structural pieces. Where's a nice big truss? We'll go one of those. Because I kind of want to get... it doesn't look as good though. I kind of want to get... fuel down low. It's still narrow, too narrow still. Let's try building a little frame down here so I can have some big tanks at the bottom. Fuel tanks. Let's see. Nah, I need something bigger. Not that big. Too big. I know one thing, Kerbal, back in the old days, all the tanks used to have different textures. I know they look better now that they're all a consistent art style, but it makes it a lot harder to pick out the particular tank that I want. That's too big. That's too small. Also too small. Ooh, this could do. Do they still have the old texture? Nah, they don't. Maybe that's a mod I could add in. Okay. That's an interesting idea. Still looks a bit fragile to me. Now for some wheels. I haven't really got a lot of clearance with this approach. It's not really giving me a lot of gap. Let's see. Right, where's the struts? There we go. Let's reinforce this a little bit. And maybe one over here. Don't think we're going to have enough engine power on this thing for our wheels just yet. Oh, it's the Twitch engine. There we go. Let's see. Alright, let's see. What's our center of mass looking like? Not quite. Wait. There we go. So right now, I don't think this thing is going to be stable. What have I done? That's not quite right. I don't think I've placed the... Don't think... Ah, here we go. So, center of mass, center of thrust. That's pretty close. So I want to try and get these centered to make sure that our spacecraft doesn't go and, you know, veer off and spin itself about. So if I've got to get these centered, I must have something slightly offset because our two different centers of mass are not quite perfectly lined up. But you know what? This is probably fine. We've got 4 wheels. Now all I need is some crew and some power. Those guys can go there. I don't think these wheels are going to be low down enough, but let's see how it goes. Power. For this, we're just going to be testing this around the Space Center. So, I'm just going to whack on some batteries. Alright, what should we call this thing? Well, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple for now. Yeah, that'll do. Let's call it Moho Climber Prototype 1. Oh, no control. Hang on. I need some Kerbals. Let's just go... Let's put good old Jeb out there. And let's see. Alright, first things first. Does this thing drive? Oh, uh-oh. I can see a problem. We've got... Wow, it has been a while since I played. I think our wheels are upside down. Ah, well. Engines work. But we're not getting any... Whoops, this is why we test things. Oh, so this is a mod that I found. What this does is this lets me pull anyone in Twitch chat and pull you guys in as a Kerbal. So I'm gonna see what we get. If I press this one, oh, there we go. I should now have Shadester in my list of Kerbals. But to see if whether you make a successful mission or to crash you into the ground, we will see. Alright, let's try this again. Wheels on the right way this time. I think these wheels aren't going to have enough clearance. Alright, we want symmetry on, locking on. Not that way. That looks better. Wheels in the correct direction. Oh, inside the tank. I don't like that. No, I've got to line them up just right. I like to use the shape here to try and make sure that the wheels are as close to level as they can be. The suspension will deal with it a little bit, but let's go with 4 wheels. I suspect we'll run out of power pretty fast, so let's add in some solar panels. Yeah, we got to make it to the first part of the first test. Is I've got to find something for this machine to try and climb to see what works and what doesn't. It's looking a little bit a little bit gangly to me yet. The last time I tried one of these, I had them a little bit more compact, but it didn't handle the slope really well. So, alright, let's get this thing loaded. I also want to work out why chat is not loading on my phone. Right now I'm still flicking back and forth between my OBS thing and, Alright. Well, it moves this time. Oh, I didn't put I didn't put my new Kerbal in. Shadester, you'll have to wait. Jeb's got this test run. We'll put you in next. So, what we're going to try and do is see what happens if I try and run it up this building. I usually have a mod called, what's it called? Curb Inside. That's what the last version was called. Which gives me a whole bunch of extra bases. Some of those which would have been perfect for this test, but it wasn't working real well when I tried testing everything last night. Okay, that's a great start. Look, we still got... Okay, let's just test, see if grip works. Are we out of power? We are rapidly running out of power. Alright, take two. Because I want this fuel's got to last a while. Because the goal is to drive all the way down to the moho. I don't think we have enough power. And if we don't have enough power to do this, we don't have enough power to do the mission we're going to do. So it's time to iterate and test something else. I think this thing's too big. Alright, take two. So... Oh, my thing is still open. Let's go back to the space plane hangar, and start this again. So I was thinking a bigger vehicle, which had a lot more weight and mass, might be a good way of doing this. But years and years ago, when I first came up with this mission plan, I built something a lot smaller. It might be that we managed to stay stable just by using the built-in stabilizer parts. So for now, I'm just going to recreate the thing that I had back then and see if that works. Let's grab ourselves, before I forget, let's grab ourselves one of these. What has happened to my Shadester Kerbal? You know what? We might have to get you out again. I don't think you crashed yet. Oh, hang on. You know what? Let's be a bit safer and start this thing from a cockpit. Alright, how's our center of mass? That'll do. Let me see. What have we got in terms of structural parts? That could do. This is a modded part technically, but it's pretty close to regular. Now, let's grab some skinny fuel tanks. That's too big. Yeah, I kind of miss when all the fuel tanks looked very different. Made it a lot easier to identify the one that you wanted as a glance. Okay. It's skinnier. Let me see. I wonder how long this will burn for. Let's grab the spark engine. I prefer this without the shroud. Yeah, that's a bit better. Let's get ourselves some wheels. I'm going to put these wheels. I want the wheels to stick out quite a bit. So, whoops, not what I meant to do. What button is that? Ah, here we go. Now I can move the things. I want these wheels to stick out quite a bit. So, let's put them on these little legs. And this time, right way around first time. Yeah, okay. It doesn't yet look great. Structural fuselage. This is the stock variant. Okay. Now, I wonder if this will tell me how long it can burn for. Ooh, it's not really... the numbers aren't really looking very clear to read. Burn time, 5 minutes. What's... probably going to want that longer. Are we stable? Alright, all these arrows line up. That shows me that the thrust is nicely centered. Now it just needs to hold together. Let's find the struts. The great thing about struts is because they have no collision on them, there's going to be no issue with them getting in the way of things. So we should be able to climb up and down. Oh, that's not where I wanted it. We should be able to climb up and down the cliffs without an issue. Okay. It doesn't look great yet, but that can come once it works. This is probably more strength than I need, but when I first started playing Kerbal Space Program, the physics were a lot less reliable than they were near the end. So I'm very used to reinforcing things very heavily. Alright, let's check. Center of mass, I would prefer that to be lower, but it'll be alright for a test. Let's see if what options have we got. Desert airfield, island runway. I kind of want to use the desert... too late. I kind of wanted to use the desert airfield because I think that's closer to some actual drops we can use to test this thing on. Let's just see if it drives about so far. Okay, it moves. Do these have built-in alternators? I've forgotten the batteries. Oh, hang on, hang on. How does this work? Oh, it's pulled out. That's my bot. Sorry, bot. It's all the bots. Oh, there we go. There's somebody. We can add you in next time if that's how this works. Nope, I've run out of power. So I do really want to try and launch this from the desert airport thing instead of the main one. So let's... oh, I pressed the wrong button. Spaceplane hangar. Okay, what did I miss? Power. We've run out of power. So let's go and whack on some batteries. Solar panels. Solar panels for the front. Let's get these. Rotation tool. Let's get these a bit of a tilt. So that way, if we're stuck with the sun at a weird angle, it's not really going to matter. Alright, this time we're going to launch from the desert airfield. It has... apparently the Twitch name viewer pool thing is not working real well. It is a mod from about 5 years ago, so it is possible it's just not functioning anymore. Alright, we're now out in the desert somewhere. I'm going to stay launched. Let's see. Okay, add draft Kerbals to craft. This could be what we're looking for. Oh, hello. Does it added it to the craft? Maybe Jeb being there. Okay, here, Jeb, you leave. Let's try this again. Who else will we pull? Oh, here we go, here we go. We've got Shadestar. There we go. But yeah, success, Mars simulation facility. It is a bit like that, isn't it? Let's see, can we see you? There's one of these buttons that used to give us a view of what was inside, but that might have been a mod that I had. Either way, you're now inside. Oh, hang on. What's going on? Huh. For some reason, I can't properly control the shape, the one in the craft. It's acting like there's a Kerbal stuck. Oh, okay. I know why we can't control it now. Here's Shadestar, and Shadestar is stuck in the fuselage, not actually in the control thing. There should be a back EVA hatch. Yes, there we go. Alright, let's see if we can find something to climb. This area actually looks very flat, so I'm not sure if this is going to work for a test of a climbing rover. Maybe we head to these mountains. This will be a good test to see if I can use the physics time warp. Let's see how stable that is these days. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, it's just a little bit bumpy. Yeah. The problem is Shadestar doesn't have his driver's license. I think we've overcome that now, fortunately. Looking good. There we go. It's looking a little bit bumpy, though. So I'm just going to leave that there, because I'm trying to get the chat thing on my phone so that I don't have to keep clicking back. I've still only got one screen set up. For some reason, I'm just not getting any signal on my phone, which is annoying. Is Jeb still on the side, or did we lose him? Oh no, he's still there. Alright, we've found some mountains. Have we still got power? Oh, that's not good. Okay, let's try the whole point. So that sounds quite loud for you. Let me know if it's coming. That sounds quite loud for me. Let me know if it's coming through really loud for you guys. Let's see if this gives us enough grip. Traction control. Ooh, it could be. For a while there was a glitch where the wheels were really struggling on any slope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Mech Jeb. Which, what are you doing? We don't have enough power to drive this thing around, I think. We're only on about a 5-degree slope. No, nope, not that one. Let's see. Motor's still at full. Wheels fine. Rover autopilot, here we go. Let's... Speed control. Come on. There we go. Oh, Jeb's the one on the window. So, but technically Shadester is driving right now. Alright, let's see. It's getting somewhere. It's not a good sign if it's struggling on a 5-degree curve. If it is that the wheels are really underpowered, because it looks like we've got enough. Oh, we might just not have enough power. What's the time of day and where's the sun? Because this thing's solar powered. Let's have a look. I think we might just be underpowered. Alright, there we go. We need a bit more for next time. Let's fast forward. Oh, it's braking. Okay. You know what? Let's go back and give this thing some more power. Alright. Instead of... because we don't need to worry about price for this thing, I'm just going to go and whack in a bunch of these. Oh, let's make them down low so that they contribute to our lower center of mass. Radioisotope thermal generators. These ones are a lot more powerful than the ones in real life, but it's really convenient. You know what? Let's give us more wheel power too. Ooh, I wonder if that's going to work. Doesn't look like it should work. Not with them so close together. Wait, let's see. Are our wheels still level with each other? Let's just do a quick test. So if I go and sink this into the floor, keep an eye. Yeah, we've got one wheel too higher than the other right now. It's probably fine, but let's make this thing nice and stable. Alright, what do we reckon? That looks pretty good to me. The whole thing still doesn't look that great, but... Alright, who have we got in the crew? For some reason, the Twitch viewer pulled Kerbals don't seem to persist. So, I don't know what's going on there. But what I'll do, let's launch this thing empty. Let's just have a probe core so that I can remotely... There we go. It's still very tall, isn't it? Kind of want to spread out the wheels a bit more. Yeah, let's do that. Let's back to one of these, maybe? Yeah, one of those. Now, we've got to get our wheels on straight. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, oh, that's not straight at all. Oh dear. Huh. What do you reckon? Look straight? Look straight to me? And now we mirror. Oh, didn't grab the probe. I kind of want the probe. Oh, the probe is still on the other side. And there we go. Didn't quite mirror perfectly. I think this thing's probably not going to have enough thrust. But let's just give this another go. Another thing we could try. I'm pretty sure I still have HyperEdit installed. And what HyperEdit is literally a cheat mod. It lets you instantly teleport any craft to any orbit. So it's great for testing things. And sometimes also for other bits. So if we can't find a good spot... Alright, see you, Shadestar. Sleep well. Okay. Oh, let's see. Who can we add to this vehicle? I've got nobody in there right now. The first one. Oh, here we go. You can... Oh, I sent it going... I still haven't quite worked out the way to work this. Who else can I send? So it says you guys are there. Okay, oh, I know what's happened. It needs to load in the viewer Kerbals right at the moment of launch. Otherwise, it doesn't actually let you in. Let's try again. Okay, let's see. Add drafted Kerbals to craft. Do a viewer drawing. Oh, I've already pulled everyone in and now it's not saving them. Ah, well, it was worth a try. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Welcome in, Atako. You are now the pilot of our spacecraft. Okay, one of our bots is not loading. Okay. But we have a pilot, and that's the main thing. Alright, let's get this thing going. How are we going for power this time? Okay, we still draw a lot more power than we generate, but... it feels pretty stable. Yeah. We've got lights. We've got brakes. The tricky thing about testing this is this thing's really designed to travel down and not up. And it's also designed, or at least it's intended, to travel up and down in low gravity. So I'm kind of thinking that big cliff there in the distance, I want to see if I can make it climb up that. And if we do that, I might just record its coordinates and then cheat us into position each time. So, yeah. We've got a bit of a drive. Hope you guys have been having a good day. I think I saw some of you guys in various other Twitch streams that I checked in on before I got started. Hope you guys' days is going well. Should have a pretty quiet day for me. What's the time? Yeah, I'm good to go for like another hour and a half before I need to start getting ready for work. Just the one class in the evening, which is why I've ended up using this day as when I'm gonna do streams, because this works out. Alright, so we're handling the slope. I'm gonna add a bit of extra traction by trying to fire up our motors. If this doesn't work, I might have to use a different strategy. Like we might actually have to power this thing using thrusters instead of motor power. I'm sure the wheels in this game used to be stronger. I know you always needed a lot of them, but I'm sure they used to be stronger. Okay. Is our wheel stressed? No, it's fine. 10% slope. Yeah, a little low on electricity. I clearly didn't add enough. Okay. Can we get out to this? What's our coordinates? Let's find out. I'm going to bring out Kerbal Engineer. Let's see if we can... a lot of these mods are a little bit old, so they might not all work. Not really getting... I can't really make out what it's trying to show me there. Hang on, I think MechJeb used to have a coordinate display. Not orbit info. Fuel's still going all right. And it hasn't blown up so far. Alright, MechJeb options. One of these is a surface info. There we go. If I can use that, what I can do is... Oh! Ah, we've lost our wheels. Okay, we're not that far from some sort of cliff. So I'm going to use the ship lander tool. And I'm going to use this to get our current location. So next time, we're just going to shift ourselves over a little bit. I wonder if I still have the original one somewhere. Ooh, I've just had a better idea. Now that I've remembered that I actually have HyperEdit, I might just try and teleport things to the top of the VAB. That'd be a good one to test. Then I can... that's almost vertical, the wall down there. Because the whole point is to see if I can build something that can climb down a wall. That could work. That could work. Okay, so, new plan. We're going to save this for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build just a little gadget of some sort that I can use to mark where the location of, like, the top of one of these buildings. Let's see, do we go with the VAB? Let's go with the space. Oh, hang on. Let's go with the space plane hangar, which I didn't mean to click on. I'm going to go and make... Let's make a new ship. No, I'm fine with that. All I need is something that can land on the roof. So we're just going to build a tiny little vertical launch system thing. That'll do, that's plenty. Alright, what's my thrust? Let's add a bunch of these. Oh, hang on. Somewhere in here is a button that lets me go from radial symmetry to... Yes, from mirror to radial symmetry. That'll do. Let's see. Mass is 6 tons. Our thrust is... It's not showing up for a sec. Hang on. Kerbal Engineer, thrust. I'll have to look to see if there's an update for Kerbal Engineer. I'm sure I updated all of these mods. But I can barely read these numbers. MechJeb, give me vessel info. There we go. Thrust to weight ratio is 2.5. That is more than enough for what I'm needing. Let's add a control thingo. I always like to throw in some sort of probe control just in case. I only need one of these. And power. Alright, so the mission of this untitled spacecraft is very simple. All we need to do is land on the roof. We can even ditch the spacecraft and bail out with a parachute. All I need to do is get... Oh, Zila, welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, hang on. I'm at the wrong space center. Okay, while I recover that, welcome in. Let me show you the plan. So the plan is, what I'm trying to do today is we're trying to go to this planet, planet Moho. The plan is to try and land something where there's this giant crater. This is the plan, and then drive it down the side. So that's the goal. Probably this will be a couple of streams. I'm still planning on switching it up. But yeah, the plan is to build a special lander that we can go and explore a deep crater. But what I need to do first is make this work in back here on Kerbal. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to mark the top of one of our buildings. So, ooh, what was that? Oh, we just got raided. Oh, wow. Welcome in. Well, this was the first raid. Welcome in. We're playing... Hang on. Oh, wait. I know what I got to do. Hang on. Hang on. I'm still getting used to doing all this. But hi, welcome in. I think many of you guys from Brooks chat, you've seen me in chat around. This is my PNG tuber. I'm a mermaid astronaut. I like to stream technology and stuff like that. I'm still very new to actually doing this. So yeah, welcome in. Oh yeah, thanks. Oh, Taco Princess Arts made this one. So how do I shout out? I'm still not quite sure how I do a shout out. But yeah, this is my PNG tuber. We are currently, this is my spaceship, which looks like this. And I've also got this scene here, which I can use to show stuff. So it's shout out. Oh, hang on. PNG, I'm just going to copy your message. Yeah, welcome in. I saw... Wait. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I haven't recruited anyone as mods yet. Hang on, I can work this out. Last time I did do a shout out, I just did it from my phone, which seems to be working on. Oh, is that not giving me any... I'll have to work out that. Because I'm sure I pressed the button that sends a notification out. Hang on. I can do this via my phone. Because it has nice easy buttons. Phone, chat, and then somewhere in here is mod view. And then I can... Wait. Shout out user! Success! Yes, I'm learning how to do these stream things. But yeah, so welcome in. We are doing some Kerbal Space Program, which is a game... Oh, I have a bit of a slideshow. This is a game that I have been playing since it looked like this. So, yeah, Ozila, the thing about mod view is I know where the button is, and I am going to make typos if I try and do that. So, I've done a lot in Kerbal Space Program. I was playing Kerbal since not long after it's first entered early access. I used to spend a lot of time on the Kerbal Space Program forum, doing all kinds of things, experiments and things. Oh, I'm not quite sure how we say your name out loud, Squidolphin, but see you around. I did a whole bunch of stuff. You can see here some of the experiments, Infinigliders, Glitchcraft, Challengecraft, all kinds of different gadgets that I made throughout the years. I've also done a lot of creative builds. So some of these were from different recreations. Like, I don't know if you can see, we've got Starbug down there. We've got a little house and a massive tower I had a lot of fun building. Some of these are actually also from when I used to make Kerbal Space Program fanfic. So here's a few shots. I have some drawings. Some of these I finished. Some of these I didn't. So maybe if I do more Kerbal streams, that might be something that I get onto, because this is kind of a way for me to do a bit of gaming, not spend too long. But yeah, so welcome in. The plan for today is we're going to be landing on, well, we might not actually get up to this part. We're going to be landing on this planet. All right, see you, George. Good to see you all here. We're going to be landing on this planet, landing near this giant crater at the top, building a special rover that's got thrusters on the top so that we can try and hold it against the side. All right, see you, Kernan. How much time have we got? I'm still good to go for another maybe an hour, hour and a half. I do have work after this, but fortunately for me, I have most of this day off, and yeah, so that's why. But yeah, anyway, welcome in. So that's the plan. We're building a machine that can do this. It's got to go down this slope. It's got to use these thrusters to hold onto the side of the crater, using some claws to try and stop it if I need to stop, which I probably will. One thing we'll certainly need to stop is when we get to the bottom. So we can do that and then hopefully get back up. So that's the plan. But there's several stages that we've got to do before we can do that, including we need to test this thing. And in order to find a good testing ground, I need to be able to get spacecraft up to the... Wait. Let's make sure we go to the right one this time. We need to be able to get spacecraft up onto the roof so that I can use the side of the building to crawl down. So that's the plan now. Oh, there's one other cool feature I discovered when I was trying to revive all my mods. Like, I discovered... Actually, let's just boot Valentina out. Just so that I can try this. I discovered this button, this mod, which lets me recruit a Twitch viewer as the pilot for my spacecraft. So, let's just make sure I'm at the spacecraft. Yep, only 2 vehicles are in the scene right now. All right, let's see who we get and if this works. Ah, Butternips, welcome in. It thinks you should be in the spacecraft now. No, Valentina is still in the spacecraft? It doesn't always work, because I don't think... Yeah, I'm going to try this again. Come on. Transfer crew? No crew on part. Huh. Yeah, this mod that I'm trying to use it was not updated since about, like, 2019 or something. So... Okay, unlucky Butternips, you haven't ended up in it. Let's try this one more time. Oh, okay. Oh, Squidolphin Man, you are... Success. You are now our pilot. You are now our test pilot. The goal is to land on top of that building in the distance, which is the spaceplane hangar. So, we can mark it as a target to deploy things on. Let's see. Alright, off we go. Oh, okay. I didn't really give this thing much control. Okay. Okay, RIP. Right, who's next? I haven't got enough control authority on this thing. Maybe I should have just used a plane. I mean, I could just use a plane, but that's kind of boring. Let's just go, let's give it a little bit more stability. Let's see. Reaction wheels, normal, full power, torque is good. Oh, welcome in. Thanks for following, Chaka. It's a little weird because I'm still very new to this. I'm still not used to actually having to pronounce chatters' names out loud. I mean, I'm not exactly one to talk, seeing as my name was never intended to be pronounced out loud. But we will get there. We will get there. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch this one without any... You know what? Oh, and we've got, that's another follow. Forgotten Bud. Yeah, welcome in. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually put a, if I can remember where they are, I'm actually going to put a parachute on this so that we can land it that way. Right, there we go. One parachute. Nope. Okay, parachute, engines. Let's try this again. Yeah, I think I definitely played Kerbal for a few years now. It's all coming back to me, but there's a lot of little things here and there that I'm still missing out on. And when it came to the mods, some of them are struggling a little bit. Oh, look, right here. This is the Kerbal Engineer, which was a great mod back in the day, but either it's not up to date, or that I failed to update it, rather. But it's struggling a little bit. All right, let's see who we get. I'm going to activate this. I'm going to draw a pilot. I didn't actually see who it gave it there. Okay, what is that? It's very small on my screen. Smurfette2107, you are our pilot today. Good luck. Let's see if you survive. I'm going to go a little easier on the throttle this time. Let's just get this out of the way. Kerbal Engineer, I might dismiss you as well because you are kind of just failing to work. I don't need you. That can stay. All right. Stabilization on. Engines on. We can see our target. All right, off we go. A little more thrust. Not that much. Oh, this thing is not very stable. Uh-oh. Okay, I reckon I can do it. We're going to try that again. If not, we'll build a different contraption to get to the top of the building. All right, take two. Let's grab ourselves a pilot. Forgotten Bud, you're the pilot today. Good luck. Okay, new plan. We're just going to go straight up, and then I'm going to bail out Forgotten Bud here. Let's just check that you've got a parachute. You do have a parachute. Good. Oh, that's not what I meant to press. In you go. All right. We are just going to full send this thing, and then I'm going to glide you down to the top of the roof. And once we've got that, then I'll be able to edit in my spacecraft to landing on that roof, so that I can properly test the device we're using. All right, here we go. Stabilization on. Okay, we've actually got SAS control right now. These buttons here weren't here last time for some reason. But, all right, here we go. I like that, because this is going to give me more finer control. Yeah, the stabilization is actually working this time. I almost think I could land this. All right. Now that I've got proper stabilization, you know what? Let's do a proper landing. Change of plans. Forgotten Bud, you don't get to go parachuting. We are going to do... I need more thrust. And... cut the engines. Oh, okay. Did you survive? So close. Oh, Wacky, welcome in, welcome in. I didn't get to catch your stream earlier. I hope it went well. Ooh, I would try and do a shout out, but I'm still struggling to make it work. So maybe next time. We are attempting to build a spacecraft that can do this, that can climb down the side of a giant slope. But we're still very much in the prototyping stages. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm just trying to mark the position of the spaceplane hangar here. And what I want to do is I want to land a Kerbal on the top, but it has been a few years since I've played this game, and it's coming back to me, but it's not as stable as my skills are not what they were. Oh, but what I'm going to do now, we've got, let's recruit ourselves another pilot. Third time lucky. Ooh, hang on, what does it say? Oh, for Vumix. Okay, cool. You are our pilot for this attempt. I am just going to have to do what I was planning to a moment ago. Let's check. We've got a parachute. Parachute good. We are going to try and land. We're going to let's just go for the parachute approach. We're going to parachute down onto the roof, mark it, and then I can use that. All right, approaching the roof. All right, stabilize. That's pretty good, actually. All right, and exit. Drop. And, oh, hang on, parachute, parachute, parachute. Ah, oh, we missed. We missed. And where's our spaceship going? Here we go, we get to see the... Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, but congratulations, Vumix, you have survived. I think that's the first survival today. But I think we can do it. Go. One more time. I'm sure this can work. Otherwise, I'm going to have to build something out of ladders instead. Oh, Anthony, welcome in. I didn't see your message. You are here too. Cool. Yeah, I was going to have chat up on my phone. Is that working now? Yes, it is. Okay, good, because I actually only have one screen on me at the moment. Now I can see you guys and play the game at the same time. Oh, and Korgel, welcome in too. All right. Come on. Like, fifth time lucky. Let's recruit a pilot. We have Yumihime Yokai. Cool. You are our pilot today. Good luck. You're gonna have... Okay, I've got to try and stay focused and just use the safe-ish approach. We're going to fire up, ditch the capsule, land on parachutes, like the Soviets used to do it. All right, let's go. Huh. Interestingly, this one time we don't have full SAS control. It's taking a lot more control input from me to keep this thing up. But I think we're high enough. All right, let's bail. Let's deploy the parachute. Okay, looking good. All right, this is better. We're now under control. Yep, we don't need the spaceship anymore. All right, gently does it. We're going to try and land on the roof of the spaceplane hangar. And then I'm going to save that as a location for a cheaty mod I've got, which I can use to teleport vehicles to the top. Then we can test to see if I can climb down each time. Oh, and you can see, look, I've got a custom flag that I went and made. So here's my little mermaid guy there in the middle. So, yeah, I really like making fun little graphics. Those of you who were here last week, you might notice a little bit different on the Twitch page now. I've actually got some panels and stuff, which I've went and drawn since last time. So, I'm very happy with the way they turned out. All right, here we go. Nice and stable. Whoa, let's not miss our target after all that effort. And success. Finally! We found our way to the roof. Alright, not exactly the moon, but it is a successful landing. Okay, I'm going to mark that. Whoops, let's... Spaceplane hangar roof. So let me do that. Perfect. Alright, well done. Hang on, how do I say this name? Yumi Himi Yokai. Mission success. Well, at least the first test. So, I'm actually going to save this as a teleport location in this cheating mod I've got, which is really useful for testing things. If I go this... I want to do it while you're up in the air, because otherwise it will teleport me into the middle of the building. And then if I save this... Spaceplane roof. That should let me shortcut the next test. Alright, let's see. Let's go back to the Space Center and try testing our vehicle again. So one of the things I'd want to do if I do more Kerbal Space Program things, and if I get affiliate, I'd love to have a redeem which is turn something into a spaceship. So this could be an object, it could be a character, well, not a humanoid character, that'd be pretty hard, but maybe like a chat mascot or something, or maybe some sort of random creature, so that in a future Kerbal stream, would be fairly cheap, but someone can redeem that, and then we'll turn that into a little spacecraft that we can try and launch. Because I've been playing Kerbal for a long time, building a launch vehicle, that's pretty straightforward, as long as you don't do anything too weird with it. So I'm interested, want to try something a bit more challenging. So this is our current prototype. The goal is to put this on the roof and see if we can climb down. So I'm going to leave the capsule empty, or, yep, actually, you know what, Valentina, you can sit here. We'll have one Kerbal. And then we're going to use our mod to teleport it to the top of the building now that I have its location saved. How are we going for time? I've still got about an hour. Okay, we have our vessel loaded. Let's see, who's going to be our pilot? We have... Ooh, Skay Arraign 210. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's unsurprising. Now, okay, we have our location. I'm going to use the ship lander with the one we just saved. Oh, well, that's not good. Cannot... Ooh. It doesn't like it for some reason. Okay, in that case, we left our flag up, and we've also left Hime up here, up. So instead, I'm just going to take your location. Now back to our spacecraft. I'm going to add a little bit extra to the altitude factor here, because otherwise we might just teleport into the building. So let's go and... I can't remember if this is water or ground-based. So I'm just going to set it to about 100 meters. There we go. And now it's going to... This cheating mod here is going to place us in place for me, so I can do my tests without having to take all day climbing up. Because this machine is designed to climb down, not climb up. Here we go. Landing in progress. And we're stable? Is there... Oh, this button is the button. I thought there was a button. There we go. We can see our pilot in there. Is it Skay Arane? I'm not sure how that's pronounced. If you're still there in chat, feel free to type in a proper pronunciation. But Once we're in place, we can begin the mission. In fact, I'm going to save this as... because I think that's going to be a better location. And let's turn off that. We have landed. All right, now we are in position. We're going to try and climb down the side of this building, looking for a nice smooth-ish face. It's not ideal, but... oh, no, I'm thinking we should have done the VAB instead. Look, let's try it and see. Wheels, are they all good? Wheels are good to go. Brakes off. All right, slowly does it. Engines on. Let's avoid squashing my flag. Slowly does it. I'm going to lower the ship. Not really a ship. I guess it's a rover. I'm going to lower the vehicle over the side. Oh, what is this? We found an obstacle. Come on, come on. You can do it. After all that, we're being thwarted by a tiny little lip on the building. Okay, let's find another surface. Slowly does it. Okay, oh, all right, engines on. Okay, okay. It's still caught on the top. I'm starting to think this was the wrong building. It's not really a good test of climbing if our building is such a weird shape. I didn't realize there was a lip here and there's a bump here. This is why designing anything takes so long. Let's see if I could wiggle. Oh, hang on. Okay. Not really climbing though, is it? Ah, okay. Let's have a look at what the situation is on the VAB. Does it have smoother walls? It does. Okay, we are just going to have to go to the VAB instead, I think. Take 2. Alright, this time, we're just going to go straight onto the top. Ah, Kirby, welcome in, welcome in. We are trying to build a spaceship. The plan is to try and build a spaceship that can climb on vertical walls, in order to explore a really steep cliff on where is it? This planet. But we're still very much in the testing phase, and I've just discovered that the building I was going to use as my climbing it's got way too many weird shapes. So instead, we're going to set up a teleport point on the other one and use that to experiment with instead. Alright. Oh, okay. You know what? Bill, you can wait here. I'm going to pull one of the Twitch viewers in as our pilot. Who have we got? Oh, hang on. I'm not in the right vehicle. Let's try this again. Who have we got? We have Maniacal Gaming 27. You get to be our pilot today, and hopefully the marker. So I'm just going to use a conventional plane this time, which should make things a little easier. Alright, here we go, here we go. Oh, I just realised Bill here is probably going to die if I don't rescue him. Okay, they respawn. I'm pretty sure I've got respawning on. And up we go. Oh, okay. Hang on. Problem. All right, Bill's away. Bill's got his parachute now. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. All right, we want to make ourselves over the VAB. That's that big tall building in the center. And we bail. And, okay, we don't need the plane. The plane's disposable. Success. I don't see what happened to Bill. I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, that's... Oh, that, there we go. That's the remains of the plane. It's fine. We don't have a limited budget. It doesn't matter if we lose the plane. Okay, we're going to try and land on that helicopter pad thing there, because the building's a lot smoother. Okay, let's slow down a bit. Gentle spiral. Let's not miss the side of the building, and... Ooh, do I want the helipad itself, or maybe the side of the building? I think my thing's big enough. And bring it down. All right, close enough. I think we can climb up to the top there. Yes, look, there's a ladder. Success. 3 Kerbals have survived so far. What is the time? Yeah, I'm still good. Okay, before I pick exactly where I'm going to mark, let's have a little look around. That looks like a nice, smooth corner. There's a little bit of a lip. But it's the same across the whole building. Kind of thinking here. Here might be a good spot to put our teleport point. But I'm going to mark the top of this building because I like having them as a reference point. So that if I'm bringing a spacecraft back from orbit, I've got a nice easy target that I can aim at. Usually I don't really want to target like the actual launch pad. Every time you launch a new spacecraft, it clears away any craft file that was there before. So instead, let's go and mark the middle of this building here. I think we're in the middle. There we go. I don't see our flag. Oh, it might have put it on the top. Okay, it's fine. Let's say VAB. Oh, VAB. Has it put it up there? Yes, it has. Okay, it's kind of done exactly what I didn't want it to do, but it's too late. Okay, you can now go and find me a good spot that I can hack a spacecraft into. Let's see. That looks big enough. Yeah, there's enough room to get my climbing thing in there. Okay, let's bring this thing in. What's the altitude? I'm gonna try 50. And let's save this. Alright, success for the little mini mission. Let's go back to our climbing thing and test it out on the roof. I still am not sure this design's going to work out, but there's only one way to know. Okay, there we go. They're still up there. We've got our debris. It's not really a very productive space program unless you've got, debris all over the place. That's the sign that you've been doing lots of testing and experimenting. I'm thinking we need one more feature. So with the plan, what we want to we haven't yet got the claws. So I'm thinking if we can try adding that feature in too, what we can do is, well, we can grab onto the side of the building. That way we can actually grip on the side instead of, just falling. So let's go and add that to our test thingamo. All right, prototype climbing. The mod I've got for this is CAS, which gives you cables and it gives you hooks. Now, these different ones hook onto different things. I think this one is fine to interact with buildings. This one might as well. Let's try this version out and see what we get. How have we got a bigger hook? Okay. That's a cable bracer. There's the winch. Alright, let's get one of these. Now, which end of this is the actual cable hook? I think it's that way. Okay. So we need to bring that to like that. And like that. And our harpoon should go there. Okay. I'm going to use this mark on the spacecraft to try and put the one in the same position. Because last time I tried to just recreate the other side, it didn't work out too well. Okay, gotcha. It's about there. Okay. Right. Now, action groups. I'm going to pick let's just go with one. I'm going to pick a button here. Ooh, do these not eject anymore? Unless I've grabbed the wrong part. Let's have another look at what parts we've got available. Okay. Interestingly, that's not actually showing up with the correct module. If this doesn't work, I might need to rethink this whole plan. Or I might need to investigate why the mod is not working. So right now it's only showing up in this little window thing here. What it's telling me is it tells me what Actually, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm just checking OBS and the thing is not popping up for some reason. But when I hover over the part, I get a little pop-up window that gives me all the parts information. Which, that's weird. I've no idea why it's not doing that. Oh, hang on, one moment. I do want you guys to be able to see that. I wonder if I can use this as a window capture instead. Hang on. Ooh, it doesn't look like I can do that. Okay, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But I'm actually missing data. When I've got this mod, it's supposed to be able to tell me the different modules that the game's got loaded. And for some reason, it's not showing up as the winch mod. So, I don't know. Let's launch it and see. If this doesn't work, I'm going to have to find a different way. But we've still got another, oh, wait, hang on. Kerbal is just frozen for me. No, wait. Okay, we're good. So, let's see. Winch. I am not getting any response from this winch. Oh, hey. Princess Pixie is in the command, and I didn't even need to press the button. Well, welcome in. Our winches are not working. This is one of the downsides of playing a game that came out, a very complicated game, that is. A game that came out like When did it was fully released? 6 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't even remember. But some of these mods haven't been updated in a long time. So if this doesn't work, we might need to try something else. So, ooh, hang on. We could try making something. I'm going to test this, but after this test, I'm going to have to investigate why that mod's not working. So we might try making something else instead. I still reckon I can make it climb down. Huh. Still doesn't work for me, does it? Okay, let's use our Kerbal marker. Not you, not you, not you. Yeah, this'll do. Set to current. Let's add a little bit of safety factor so that we don't pass into the building. And here we go. Yeah, that'll do. So if anyone's got any good ideas of something I can try and build and turn into a spaceship, that'd be a good idea. There'd be a couple of different options. We could do a launch vehicle, like something that gets from Kerbal to space. We could do a lander, something that puts you from outer space down onto a planet. We could just do an orbiter. That could be... That's pretty easy, really. All they need to do is be relatively stable. You get to use the more efficient engines on those. What if we do a launch vehicle? Okay, we are almost in position. Alright, I can deactivate that. Put away my cheat code. Okay. So, let's see if this works. Brakes off. We need to slowly... Whoa, that's not slowly. We need to slowly lower ourselves down the side. Look there. Kerbal Pixie is really excited for this. Okay, gently does it. We're not very... Corky, welcome in. We are experimenting. The goal for this is to try and build a vehicle that can climb down stuff. Because I've got a mission in mind where we go ahead and explore a really, really steep crater. So we're still testing this. If this works, it'll be the first successful run of this. But I also just discovered that the mod that I'm using to give me hooks and stuff, that I like harpoons that I can use to attach to the side of the wall, is not working. So I think in a bit we might pivot to another idea. But for now, let's at least see. Okay, engines are working. Let's at least see if we can get over the side. I've just got to be just fast enough to overcome this bump. Just enough. The wheels in this game, they're not... Well, actually, I know how they're programmed. They use a raycast which attaches to the ground, so they don't really detect the things so well if they're in front of them. Like, it's detecting the ground, basically, because it can detect stuff beneath it, but it struggles a lot when it's doing something on the side. Come on. I need a little bit more. I don't want to go over the side. Come on. Okay, that was 3 meters per second. Let's aim for 4. And, oh, so close. All right, let's try and bump over at 5 meters per second. And then I'm going to immediately hit the thrust in the... Oh, that's not slow. It's not fast enough. Okay, have I still got power? I'm starting to run out of power on this thing. Okay. Right, let's let it charge up just a little bit. But yeah. Oh, is it similar gravity? No, it's a lot less. So, I suppose I could activate cheats and... Ooh, that would solve the problem I'm having right now. Let me just remember what the debug button is. Not that. If I go and open up the cheats menu... I just need to remember what that is. I can actually turn off gravity a little bit. Let me see. Okay. Not that one. Here we go. Here we go. Let's knock the gravity down to something similar to what we'll be experiencing. Planet Moho is about 1/3 of Kerbin's, and that's probably going to give me an easier time getting over this bump. Come on. Yes, here we go. Okay, gently does it. Thrusters on. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Well, this is useful data at least. I'm going to see if I can push it down using the other Kerbal. Not that one. Alright, we've got Maniacal Gaming here. Okay, my engines have stopped. That's not a good sign. He's not strong enough. Nope, wrong vehicle. Okay, here we go, here we go. Okay, so, well, we're stuck on the side. What I really need is a gentle slope to test this thing on. But unless we were to travel into the mountains... This is why designing anything takes really, really long. At least, look, little Kerbal Pixie here is having a great time. There we go, look. She's not bothered at all. She's just vibing, hanging out. I'm gonna try pushing it again. Okay, it's not really enough room for you to get in there, is there? Nope, I think we're stuck. I have uncovered several flaws in this design. The idea of having the legs down so low was that so we wouldn't get stuck on the bump, so that we'd be able to go ahead and overcome like the lip of the crater without, you know, getting caught in the middle there. But we've encountered an entirely different type of problem here. So this might be something we come back to. So I have about 40 minutes or so before we need to wrap it up, and then I head to work. So I'm like, let's try something else. So I'm, like I said at the start, could I make the wheels bigger? I could, but the bigger wheels are a lot heavier, and that always leads to more complications when it comes to spacecraft. what I'm thinking is the next design might work better if I combine it with some retractable wheels. They're often needed when you're doing fast speeds anyway, because the rugged wheels are actually not that tough. And in the past, having backup wheels in other designs has helped out a lot. But I want to try something else. So this is actually only my third proper stream, so I'm still doing a lot of experimenting here. And one thing I would like to try and do is in future Kerbal streams is hang on, give me a moment, is try and turn various things into spacecrafts. So seeing as most of you guys are here from Bulby's stream, what if we try and make a spaceship out of a bud? I'm thinking we just use a launcher. But if we just go and take what a bud looks like. Let me see. You all know what they look like, right? They look something like... Wait. I'm still working out how to do this. Oh, let's just go with display capture. Keep it easy. Display capture. Is that even working? Come on. Display capture. Capture method. Nope. Okay. Scratch that idea. We are going to go with... Okay. Why is it not showing up? Ah, there we go. So, do you think... I reckon I can turn this guy into a little spaceship and see if we can launch him. So, yeah, we've got about 40 minutes to go. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can make a bud into a spacecraft. I'm thinking it's probably not going to use much symmetry. So it shouldn't really matter if I go VAB or spaceplane hangar. Because if I don't need to worry about symmetry, doesn't really matter. VAB gives me more room though. Alright, let's see. Let's start with the face. Let's put him up here. Okay, let's get the bud here up as a reference. Why do you not show up? Okay, here's the bud. Yes, okay. You can sit over there as a reference. Alright, let's start by making the face. Then I'm going to make the bud out of a bunch of structural pieces, and then we can go ahead and put fuel tanks behind it, I think. Yeah, because I don't think I've seen anyone do a... Let's do the outside of the face. I don't think I've seen anyone make a 3D model of the bud yet. So, let's go ahead and start with the chin. Let's line this bit up. That's too long. Where's the shorter one? There we go. Bit by bit. Alright, let's have a look. Bit of a curve. Okay, I reckon one more. Let's make it a smooth curve. One more mini I-beam. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, now let's do the ear. How long's the ear? Okay. Yeah. Can you guys see the vision? All right. Let's round off the ear. These are pretty big. Yeah. All right. See you, Corky. I don't know how aerodynamic this is going to be, but there's only a few problems that can't be solved by more boosters. So, yeah, let's get the ear. Okay, yeah, I'm starting to see it. Let's tweak that ear just a little. Yeah, okay. I'm starting to wish I hadn't built this all in one chain so that I can more easily duplicate and make the second side. That would be quicker, but this will be fine. Alright, let's get the rest of the jawline. So it doesn't really need to be symmetrical because I'm going to compensate by where I place the thrusters. Nah, I'm liking these smaller ones. We'll go with these smaller ones. Ooh, there's a decision that we need to make. Is the bud going to go up vertical or is it going to go up flat? I do think it'd look cooler if we made it go up flat. I might need to use a slightly different technique when it comes to filling out the insides though. Oh, there's the ears. Let's finish off the top. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Oh, what's a good name? You know what? Someone suggest a good name. I'm going to leave it like that for now. But if anyone's got a really cool name for what the space bud could be called, we'll go and update that in a moment. Oh, that's crooked. Let's not do that. Yeah, a little flat. I'll fix that in a sec. One tricky thing about the way Kerbal Space Program builds things is it's a node-based system. So our build here is sort of started from this part. You can see if I go and affect a root part, everything is affected. But what this also means is that there's not really going to be a good way to link these across at the top. So they're just going to have to get really close. And we'll worry about it holding together once we've finished the outline. Let's go with a longer one. Overlapping parts, it should be fine. I don't think collision is calculated. Oh, it's been missed a little bit. I don't think collision is calculated between parts of a spaceship, but just in case, I'm going to try and leave a bit of a gap between these two parts. Okay, it's a little bit crooked. One thing I'm starting to miss from using like actual CAD programs is it doesn't have any ability to give me like a plan or an elevation view. So I've got to do a lot more eyeballing when it comes to lining things up. But yeah, there we go. Outline of the face. Let's zoom out a bit so you can see it. Yeah, I think that's a good start. I'm going to go and do the frame of the body next, because all the details, all the eyes and the nose and so on, those will be easier once we've got things, tanks and stuff. So let's do the back, not the back, let's do the body. Then we can do the back. Let's see, the body I am going to do, we'll do it the same technique, but I'm going to go for it, try and get it done a little bit faster. All right, let's go with one here. One there. Okay. Kind of more of a tadpole right now, but let's check. The back is kind of flat. So let's go like that. And then it starts to curve just a little bit. And oh yeah, I'm seeing that. And now the tail. Gotta have the tail. Are the Bud's tails edibles as well, or is it just Bulby's tail? It's probably just Bulby's tail. How curvy is the tail? Yeah, I think that gets the idea. Let's slide across a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, that's starting to look right. Alright, just a bunch more of these to get a curve. It's still pretty flat, which is what we want. That'll make turning this frame into a spaceship looking sort of thing a lot easier. Okay. Yeah, that's close enough. So, the legs. Oh, Arkin, welcome in. Yes, we're playing Kerbal. So far, we've done some experimenting. I'm trying to do... oh, hang on, this is the wrong... this is the wrong screen. So, we started out trying to design a rover, which would be able to climb down really steep slopes. The plan being to explore a really steep crater on planet Moho. But I've discovered one of the mods that I was relying on that isn't going to work. So, until I've pivoted to my other idea, we are making a creature. We're making a Bud from Bulby's streams. And I'm going to launch him into space. So that's the plan. I've got about... I can probably go for another like half an hour-ish, assuming that I don't think there's much I need to set up to do for work later. So, I think we should have just enough time to try and launch this guy into space. So, I'm thinking for the legs. I kind of want to leave the legs and not do it as part of the frame. I'm going to use, I want to have boosters sticking out the bottom and have them as the legs. So let's go and finish off the body. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Arkin. I'm still very much getting used to this. Oh, Korgul, I've just followed. Cool, thanks for the follow. So there's so much things to keep track of while streaming, and streamer brain is very real. So sorry if I'm talking over myself a little bit. Still getting used to it. Okay, let's finish off the bud. Let's finish off the shape of the bud. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put a bunch of fuel tanks and build up all the infrastructure to turn it into a spacecraft. So I'm just got to get the body. That feels like it's curving too fast. Let's use a longer one. Yeah, right now I've just called it... Oh, also, I made a little custom flag. Look, there we go, there we go. So, got all my my graphics on theme. That one's almost too wide. Okay, no, that'll work, that'll work. I feel like I'm going down a little bit too steep, but it's not going to be perfect. It's really just got to get the idea. That's looking pretty good to me. So for those of you who haven't been here before, in real life, I'm a robotics coach, and that is something I end up telling to my students a lot. Because with kids, they'll often try tweaking just the tiniest thing, the least important bit, to try and get it working just perfectly, instead of working on a core system that they rely on their robot for. Like just the other day, I had kids who were trying to set up something with a counterweight to stabilize their robot's arm, while the mechanism at the end of that robot's arm, the bit that was actually going to pick the things up that they needed to pick up, was barely functional. So I had to do a fair bit to try and convince them that no, it's no use working on the fine details without having the main part working. If they turn up to their robot competition, which I've got to do later this week, if they turn up without the main part of their robot functioning, it doesn't really matter if the small parts are working. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. He doesn't have any legs or arms or face yet, but yeah. It's kind of like a... looks more like a dog right now, but starting to see it. I'm going to move this out of the... whoop, wrong scene. Where's my bud? Yeah, there we go. I kind of want to put this over here instead so that you guys can see more clearly what we're making. Yeah, alright, let's pick out some tanks. I'm thinking bunch of big tanks all behind here. Let's find the big skinny tank. Have I got anything bigger? Ooh, we have these ones from mods. No, I'm going to stick with the stock part. So what's going to be tricky about this is routing the fuel. If we have enough control authority though, I bet it's going to be fine. Okay, if I just get one part in. Close enough. If I have one part in place, then I can use that to link up all the others too. Now that's not necessarily the best way to do this structurally, but that's what strats are for. Okay, let's fill him out with more fuel tanks. I wonder how much delta V we've got. Well, you can't really calculate that until I've got an engine, so... what, to get to Kerbal orbit, we need about 4 or 5 kilometers of delta V. That's the ability to accelerate to about 4 or 5 kilometers per second. So, and that includes accelerating to orbit at the top, and all the stuff that you lose on the way up due to wind and gravity and everything on the way. So, If we can get that just by filling out this space, I think we'll be able to put him into space. It's looking kind of weird right now, but we're getting there. Nope, I need something smaller. Oh, that'll do for here. It's gonna look a bit weird if they're the small tank. And it doesn't line up with the big one sideways. So okay, that's not really good for my part count. But I don't really want to place them again. So let's place that there. The more parts you add, the harder it is on my poor computer to simulate the thing. Fuel tanks. Where's the slightly longer version? Yeah, that could work. Okay. Like I was saying earlier, I kind of miss back the early days of Kerbal where this art style was a lot less consistent. But what it did mean was it made it a lot easier to pick out which part you were grabbing at a glance. Now that they all look the same, I've got to think a bit before I go and grab a particular piece. Or maybe I should have built the frame before I started putting tanks in. I think this can still work. I'm going to put these, they're not quite lined up. Yeah, alright. It's going to look a little bit weird. But I think that was a given. Okay, let's check. These are all fuel and oxidizer tanks. Good. Because I'm going to launch this using conventional liquid rockets, which will require both fuel and oxidizer. How are we going for time? Yeah, still another, I can do another 30 minutes. I really want to try and at least launch this before I've got to go. Okay, I should probably test this to make sure that it doesn't all just fall apart the moment I place it out onto the launch pad. Can try and get all of these parts roughly the same. Does it still look like a bud? It's a little harder to tell now that it's full of fuel tanks. If I had a little bit longer, maybe I'd do a panel technique instead and hide all these fuel tanks. But is that one too big to go there? It doesn't quite ruin. It's a little too big. Alright, let's go with these smaller ones. It's not looking like a bud so much anymore. Kinda. It's more like a bundle of cigarettes than a bud at this point. Oh, that's the wrong part. Those are too long. Whoops, let's not delete the tail. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of getting there. I think it'll be easier to see when we have a more zoomed out view. It's definitely looking less like a bud than it was. That's too big. Now this, we're just gonna have to speed run the fuel drain management, I think. But for now, whoops, that's not what I wanted. We've just got to try and link some of these back together. Because otherwise the whole thing is just going to explode. It may still just explode the moment we put it out, but I would prefer it to not explode too much. Okay, doesn't have any legs yet, but I think we should see if it holds itself together. So let's go and grab ourselves some launch clamps. Whoops, not there. All right. Ooh, hang on. We need more reinforcement on that area there, otherwise it is just going to disintegrate. See, right now these are being held on just by the outer frame. And they're going to wobble out a lot if I don't connect them up like this. So they've got a bit of a better chance at staying together. Whoops. Alright, let's see if this thing completely falls apart when we try and put it out in the real world, or like in the Kerbal equivalent of the real world. Let's see if the physics actually copes. Oh, Seribot just got a spam bot detected. Well done. Okay. Well, it hasn't immediately collapsed. That's a good sign. Okay. A little bit wobbly on the head. It's going to be very hard to... Looks like we're going to need a bunch of struts on this section here to stop wobble I'm going to subject it to physics warp. Okay. Yep, I know. That's what I'm expecting. Okay. Oh, here we go. We have our little bit of dancing here. It's actually holding up surprisingly well. We might actually be able to launch this thing. So it looks like we've got to reinforce the neck. We've got to reinforce the top frame. Oh, hang on. I typed in goodbot wrong. There we go. Okay, I'm going to drop this thing to see... Oh, no control. Now, alright, cool. Let's move on to making it actually fly. Don't need that. Don't need... Oh, we do need that. Okay, we're reinforcing the neck, and then we're reinforcing the top of the head. Then, let's add some engines and some power. No symmetry, so balancing this is going to be interesting. Let's see. I want another one on this side. Okay. Aha! So here's where the two bits at the top, whoops, don't meet up. I'm actually going to do this a slightly different way, because I want to make sure the junction sits in the middle. I'm going to try and snap it to this connection point here. Yes, that's what I'm after. Now, I've got a nice clear shot to join these together with struts. And that should reduce some of that wiggling that we saw at the first test. I missed that one. Nope. Maybe I should have just put this in the spaceplane hangar. It would be a little bit easier to move it around. Oh wait, hang on. I can do that, can't I? Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, okay, here we go. We're now building this in the spaceplane hangar, which has different movement controls and slightly different camera stuff, which is going to be good for this detail. Alright, the top outline is now secure. I've just got to get these all pinned on using these struts. It's still kind of crooked. Sorry, we just won't look too close. Okay. Kinda. But he's still looking really legless. So let's get some legs happening. For legs, I'm just going to use some big fuel tanks. Let's see, a little too long. Where's the half one? Too thick? I mean, it should be thick, but not in that way. Yeah, okay. Nope, not like that. Not really looking like a leg yet. Yeah, kinda. So these are going to have to be repositioned a fair bit anyway, because this thing is going to be very interesting to try and balance. I'm going to try and put the engines on the end of these. We might need to have more engines tucked away somewhere, because what's the weight on this thing? Okay, we're currently at 425 tons. So it's a heavy boy. But I think we might need a bunch of extra engines beyond what goes on these legs. We're also going to need to use a lot of fuel ducts to try and link all of these together. Ooh, that's the wrong way. Ooh, not what I wanted. So if I can get all the fuel flowing through to this tank at the bottom, we should have a good chance that this big mess of tanks actually somehow works as a functioning spaceship. Nope. Huh, where's that coming from? I'm probably gonna miss some of these. But I'm sort of hoping that we can use a lot of control authority parts to keep this contraption stable, because it's not exactly an aerodynamic shape. If I can at least get the... If I can at least get these big tanks all linked together. Nope, not like that. I want to have everything flowing down into the bottom bit. So if that goes to there, and then that one links to there. Yep, we've already got pipes down to the bottom there. What's the time? Okay, I can go for a little longer. I'm gonna try and push it. The lesson... I've only got one class tonight. I've still got to get there. The lesson I'm gonna run doesn't require particularly a lot of prep. So, often the plan is for me to end at about 3:30 PM East Australian time. I'm going to push it just a little bit today, because I really want to see this thing go. And at the moment, I'm still trying a bunch of different games. So last time we had a go at playing a nuclear reactor simulator. Next time, I'm probably going to go for another old favorite. Possibly either Octodad or maybe Civilization 5. I don't actually have a copy of Civilization 6. Or maybe Pal World. That I haven't decided yet. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit. Last time we did a game which was kind of like a really complicated puzzle simulator, where you had to get the nuclear reactor running without it, exploding or melting down or anything like that. This one more of a creative style one, so we'll try something else next time. Okay, let's have a look. I think I have most of the fuel lines connected. Oh, hang on. Is that a warning from my OBS? No, I think I'm good. Okay, that looks fine. Now, here we go. We're going to try and install some engines. I'm going to try and find... That one's going to be too big. It's going to look really weird. This one is probably going to be... I mean, the legs are going to look kind of weird. I reckon we're going to need a fair few. Oh, there's a few more. Oh, this guy. This guy's usually pretty strong. What's our... We have almost 4,000... No, 440 tons of mass that we've got to try and lift. So we're going to need to have at least... Yeah, at least enough to match that when it comes to our thrust. So I'm going to keep an eye on... Just looking for my mech jeb. Okay, engine. Hey, RCS build aid will do. Okay. Well, that's a good start. It's not actually... These engines are pretty powerful. If you play career mode, these are quite a late stage game sort of engine. So... Okay. Oh, hang on. Did we re-enable proper gravity? I'm not sure if that affects the calculation. Let me make sure that our sheets are disabled. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I've gone... When we were testing earlier, I went and used the debug sheet thing to do that. But... Okay, we still have enough thrust. I don't know how well that shows up on the stream, but I am looking at a little meter that is telling me we have a thrust to weight ratio of almost 5, which should be more than enough for a successful launch. Right now, it's not very stable. So all of these arrows, they're coming from this tool up in the corner, RCS Build Aid. And it is showing me that if I launch this thing right now, it is just going to spin out of control, because a lot of my force is creating a torque instead of giving us direct thrust. And we want all this thrust lined up through the center. I'm using my hands right now, but you can't see. We want to get all this thrust lined up through the center. And if we can do that, I think we should have just enough time to do at least one test launch. I'm not expecting it to work. We probably don't have enough delta V to get into orbit with this thing, but we can at least make it fly. Okay. So the big thing is a lot of this thrust is not very well aligned with our center of mass. So if I can do that, I kind of want to keep the legs roughly centered. Center of thrust, center of mass. We're currently using... Okay, our center of mass isn't expected to shift that much, which is a good sign. If we can get this working quickly, I might even be able to do a couple of test launches. If I can get that... Okay. Yeah, this Spud's legs are just going to be a little bit all over the place. And we're still going to need to add crew parts, electric parts, and... Okay. That's still way too much torque to try and overcome just by control parts. So we've got to adjust this a little bit more. I might just need to throw in a few other sneaky engines in order to try and stabilize this. That I will want in symmetry mode. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. If I just adjust this, I should be able to get our... I'm not sure if that's coming through for you. Oh, the bud's in the way. Okay, you can now see the little number that I'm fine-tuning right now. That number up in the corner There's a little number up there that's giving me the amount of torque that will be produced by these engines as I fire them up. I've got to get that as close to 0 as possible. And that's about as much as that's going to minimize. Otherwise, this bud's just going to spiral instead of going up. We've got plenty of thrust. Okay. I might just need to throw in another engine that corrects this. These don't add a lot of thrust though. And right now we don't really have enough. Okay. Whoops, I need that. I think I'm going to need to add another large-ish engine. In order to... This bud is about to gain a 5th leg. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. One of these? Oh, I had symmetry on. That's why it was behaving weird. I need one more small fuel tank. Why are you not letting me pick you up? Oh, hang on. Someone's calling me. I do not know that number. It is being ignored. If it was important, they should have texted first. Ooh, okay. Right now, that's not really helping. I don't think that's going to work. Alright, I am looking at the time. I don't think we've got time to do too much more on this, so I am kind of just going to... Let's just throw on a bunch of control parts. I'm not expecting this to work today. Maybe I come back to this one in the future. What I need now... That's it, but with symmetry on, I'm just going to use a whole bunch of these. I'm fully expecting this to just crash. It still kind of resembles a bud, doesn't it? Oh, hang on, hang on. Ooh, I've just noticed something. It's possible that the torque that I'm failing to eliminate is actually just sideways torque. If I can stabilize it that direction... Okay, it's still too much. Okay, I'm not expecting this to work, but let's prepare it for launch anyway. We need power. I've used a lot of control authority bits, so there should be power from the engines. But batteries is going to make things better. I'm just going to pile them on there, rushing a little bit because I'm almost out of time. Alright, we have batteries. We have thrust. We have some approximation of stability. We'll get a little more stability when we add in... It's starting to look a little bit less like a bud, but time is running out. It still kind of resembles a bud. When we zoom out, I bet you it'll resemble a bud. Okay. The last detail is we are going to add something for astronauts to sit in. If I put this in the right spot, we might even be able to balance out some of our spinning issues. Kind of want to put them here. Whoops, that's not... I want the other variant though. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Now that is going to fall apart very quickly if I do not... Whoops! If I do not reinforce it. We've got to have something so that we can have somebody in there. Okay. There's one more piece I need. We need something. I'm going to slap this on as a probe control core. Do we have enough thrust? Technically no. So I'm going to slap on some boosters. Oh, you know what? Instead of draining this, I'm just going to drain some of the fuel. I'm sure we don't need it. If I drain too much from the wrong spot, it's just going to fall apart. Okay. Now, we need boosters. The tricky part is placing our boosters in a position that they're not just going to cause the thing to spiral. You know what? I think we're just going to have to drain some fuel by lighting this thing. Need to make sure that these do not get in the way of each other. Okay. I don't think it's going to fly very well. But at least it exists. Alright, let's put this to the test. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm going to launch this. Ooh, let's do the island airfield. We haven't visited that yet today. Alright, let's check staging. We have the Delta V. We don't quite have enough thrust. I'm actually going to burn off some of the fuel before we launch it. So let's rearrange that. So our engines start. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not. But we're going to give it a go. If it does, who knows? We might make it up to the upper atmosphere, at least. If it doesn't, we should get to see a really cool explosion. Okay, it's looking really wobbly still. Let's test. Engines on. Oh, that's not a good sign. Alright, let's keep an eye. Stabilization on. We have no pilots. Okay. Let's bring in a pilot. Welcome in, BY Black Wolf. You are now our pilot. With a pilot on board. Can I add another person? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, what's happened? Why do I not have any control? Ah, for no probe course. Wait, oop, wrong button. Okay. Final attempt. If this fails or not. But we need to add something. I'm going to put at least one... Oh, hey, it actually does save them. Well, there you go. Alright, Maniacal Gaming, you are back in the pilot spot. We're going to try one more go at this. And while that's happening, I'm going to start thinking about who to raid out to. Ooh. Who have we got? We've got Palm. We've got Ashley Kieran. There's a few others. Alright. Final go. Is the fuel draining? Yes, it is. I just need to carefully... This dial here is showing me that this back support thing is starting to melt. So I don't really want it to explode on top of me. That would not be good in this case. All right. I'm kind of thinking it might just end up crashing straight into these supports. I mean, I still reckon it kind of looks like a button. If we zoom out a little bit. What's the screenshot button in this? Yeah, there we go. Okay, we've burnt off a fair bit of fuel. It's still too heavy. Alright, I'm just going to have to risk that exploding. Because I'm I'm really pushing it for time. And I still think it's probably just going to explode. Okay, we have technically enough to hover. Let's give it a little bit longer. Can I add another Kerbal? Okay, we have a new Kerbal added. Welcome in, Mighty Amusing Frog. You get to be our second test pilot for this definitely safe contraption. Alright, here we go. We technically have enough thrust. I don't know if we've got enough stability. But we're going to count down. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1... Uh-oh, and we're just falling over. Okay, never mind. Okay, not quite, but I am out of time. Next time. That one probably needed a longer session to work in. So let's... Oh, not yet. Where's the just chatting? There we go. So, I assume we've still got a bunch of you here. Let me have a quick look. Okay. Oh, wow. There's still a lot of people here left over from the Bulby raid, I guess. So, cool. Well, I got to rush off really fast because work is expecting me there in like half an hour. So, let's pick somebody to raid. Well, thanks for coming and thanks for Bulby for raiding if you are still here. But yeah, hopefully we see some of you guys in the next one. I'm going to be revisiting each of the games I've tried probably. Kerbal is definitely something that I'll try again as once I've practiced managing all the stream stuff a lot more. And once I've also learnt to stop saying every few minutes, which is now really obvious now that I'm looking back at my own VODs. Next week I'm thinking either Octodad, which is a good old favorite, or maybe Civ 5, or maybe Pal World. But we'll have to see. Okay, let's find somebody to raid out to. We've got Palm. We've got there's a couple on that I think you guys would know. There's also one or two that who shall we go with? Someone familiar or someone new? Let's think about this. I've got to think about it really quickly. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This is actually surprisingly hard. So, okay, how to raid. How do I raid? I managed this last time. You know what? Let's just go to... Hang on, how is it actually pronounced? Asakai Kirin? Yeah, let's go raid him. He does a lot of dev streams. He's playing Hollow Knight right now. He's got this sort of card game thing that's going on in his stream. So when we go over, you got to go and type in !pool to get yourself a card in his card game. So I am going to... Where is the thing for raiding? Come on, okay. I can do this. Raid a channel. Okay, I can do this. Raid a channel. There he is. Okay. There he is. Okay. Is that working? Start raid. Oh, it's good. It's going. Okay, cool. Is that working? Oh, it's good. It's going. Okay, cool. All right, so hopefully we'll see you next time. Oh, did I just not turn the...
Pogo not work. Oh, TW! Oh my goodness! TW, huge raid! Welcome in! Welcome in, TW and friends! 1T raid! 1T raid, welcome in! How are you? Welcome, raiders! If you're new here, I'm Asahi Kieran, Sunrise Unicorn. I'm primarily a dance streamer, but right now we're playing Hollow Knight. I'm getting my ass kicked by this platforming section. But yeah, normally we develop Sunrise TCG, which is a card collecting game for chat. And you can play right now with !pull. Just type that into chat and you'll get a random card, and if you're lucky, you get a rare. You like those because they're shiny, shiny. And then you can check your collection at sunrise-tcg.com. Or you can just use !TCG to get a link to the website directly. Welcome in! You're playing Kerbal Space Program. Nice, what were you doing? What were you doing in the space program? What were you working on? Yeah, we defeated a boss today. We defeated a rather difficult boss, but it didn't take us too long. So that was a lot of fun. Now we're getting our ass kicked. So it's okay. It's okay. Give and take. All right, here we go. But yes, also, if you have the raid and rundown, please make sure you give yourselves all the time you need for self-care. Eat, drink, sleep, all the good stuff. But you want to stick around and hang out? Oh, geez, words are hard. You're more than welcome to